What started in Khargone, Madhya Pradesh has now made its way to Jahangirpuri in New Delhi. My name is Saahil Murali Menghani, and the focus of this episode of Checks and Balance is the legality and morality of the government using bulldozers to inflict collective punishment on people the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party accuses of rioting. The Supreme Court was quick to call a halt to the demolition drive launched in the predominantly Muslim areas of Jahangirpuri by the North Delhi Municipal Corporation on Wednesday. But last week, when the Madhya Pradesh government demolished homes and shops in Khargone district, the Muslim residents there got no protection from the courts. The demolitions in Khargone happened a day after violence broke out in the city during Ram Navami processions. As per the police, some people had allegedly hurled stones at the procession, objecting to the loud and provocative music being played. At least 24 people, including a police officer, were injured. Soon after that, the top brass of the BJP-led Madhya Pradesh government, including State Home Minister Narottam Mishra, no less, vowed that houses where stones have come from will be turned into a pile of stones itself. And the very next day, bulldozers arrived to bring the structures down. On the face of it, Mishra's threat and the speed with which it was acted upon reeked of the abuse of anything resembling due process. But still, to find out if the rule book was followed or not, I spoke with Khargone's district magistrate Anugraha. She told me three things. First, she denied the charge that this demolition was carried out on religious lines, claiming that out of 10 illegal shops removed in Khargone's Talab Chowk area, 4 belonged to Hindus. Second, she admitted in this interview that people whose structures have been demolished were not necessarily rioters, and that only police charge sheet would confirm who indulged in rioting. Third, she also stressed, and did so repeatedly during this interview, that the government's focus has not been on targeting individuals, but instead the areas where rioting took place. Listen in to my conversation with Khargone District Magistrate Anugraha, and then we will put all her claims to the test.
Which rule says that those who are involved in stone pelting, क्या वजह सिर्फ यही है कि इससे वो स्टोन पेल्टिंग में थे इसलिए डेमोलिशन हो रहा है? अदरवाइज प्रशासन क्या उनका डेमोलिशन नहीं करता? एंड तभी करेगा डेमोलिशन जब अगर वो ऐसे किसी अपराध में पाए जाएंगे. दैट इज द क्वेश्चन.
नहीं, आप क्या पूछ रहे हैं? जो डेमोलिशन हुआ है इन जनरल उसमें एनक्रोचर्स भी है, एंड उसमें जो है कुछ राइटिंग का लोग भी है, एंड कुछ जैसे बेसिकली अभी जब चार्जशीट फाइल होगा है ना फ्रॉम द पुलिस, so then you will know who is the exact name. ठीक है, so that is why we just chose the area. मतलब you don't have the time to sit and analyze, right? Who is that name by the person?
So you think essentially not everyone whose house or whose encroachments have been demolished is necessarily involved in rioting. You have just selected this area to send the message first that if you are going to indulge in rioting, then your areas will be on specific.
No, there are a lot of rules that for building permit you have a different rules. ठीक है, so you cannot just do rioting. Yeah, rioting or these are all very big things. Very serious thing has happened.
Are these encroachments, are all encroachments on houses belonging to the Muslim community?
See, nothing like that. Nothing like that. It is like it's a mixed thing. Take it.
So even houses and encroachments, illegal houses and encroachments of Hindu community members have also been brought down.
Definitely.
Could you give me a number? Could you give me a number?
Yeah. So for example, in like Talab Chowk, we had removed like 4-5 shops. I think 10 shops or something. उसमें तो 4 तो इनका ही है, हिंदू कम्युनिटी का है. हाँ, 4 वो लोग जो है वहीं थे, लाइक उनकी वो जो शॉप्स चला रहे थे.
And finally,
Oh,
as an administrator, I just want to ask you this. Now, the government
yeah.
is saying that those who are involved in rioting and stone pelting, their houses will be reduced to rubble. Their houses will be reduced to ruin.
It is not anything like, it is not like, whoever, the rioters have to be named in the charge sheet, police charge sheet, hai na?
Yeah.
That is the procedure. So unless the charge sheet is done, so you like nobody can name a particular person. Let them do the charge sheet, and then at least we can have a clear picture.
Here, the focus has been on the area where the rioting has took place,
Exactly,
and not on the
exactly.
individual. You
Exactly,
haven't
and
singled
see,
out. It's not that
like,
जिनके houses
yeah.
गिरा दिए गए हैं वो जरूरी rioters है. It's just that
No,
they
no,
happen
सभी
to live
लोग
in the same area.
see, there are two things. सभी लोग नहीं हैं, कुछ लोग हो सकता है.
ये जांच का विषय है.
Yeah, because we have something called a gunda list who are history cheaters, ठीक है? So that has both the communities. So हम both the communities का इन लोगों का जो financial properties है वो generally identify भी करते हैं, and then we make cases also. Any illegal encroachment है क्या, illegal buildings है क्या? You get the point. See, it is possible that in some rioting areas where we have removed encroachment, it is possible that one community was more represented, ठीक है? जहाँ rioting ज़्यादा हुआ है वो तो वहाँ हुआ है, ठीक है? That you cannot refute. पर वहाँ का हमने हटाए हैं, and then you find one community larger than the other. So that is by coincidence. That is not by design.
Okay, so you're saying this is just a
that is not
coincidence.
intentional. That is not an intentional thing.
So is the government then wrong? Is the government wrong in saying that
no.
See, who are
they're
involved
also
in writing
saying
their houses will be reduced to ruins? Because that is a very clear message. And what you're saying is that it is not communal. We are just going by facts, whether they have illegal encroachments or not, and it just so happens.
See, both. I'm saying both. See, there are people who are history cheaters who are in the demolition हमने जो किया है.
Would their houses or encroachments have been demolished if they did not belong to the area where rioting took place? Would their houses and encroachments have been taken down by the
अभी हमने उनका basically उनकी जो घर जो तोड़े हैं, it is like it has to be मैं वही बोल रही हूँ ना, charge sheet file होना है, ठीक है? So only then we will be able to who are the clear rights.
Again, I'm talking about the area.
And I'm telling the same thing. So whoever has did the thing and whoever is proved by law that they have did, definitely we will do a very good inquiry on what are his illegal activities, okay? So that he doesn't have the financial backing to do it again.
So
got the
that
point,
is
right?
what I'm asking. Suppose if rioting had not taken place in that area, would you still have taken on? Would you still have gone ahead and brought down those structures, illegal structures?
Yes. They see, encroachment drive, removal drive is something which happens every month. Okay, it is not something.
So that in a way
specific.
is a contradiction to the projection being done by the government that we are
See,
teaching a strong
that's what I'm telling you both. See, as an administrator, to have control over people, we get case of everybody and have it ready. ठीक है, आप तो ऐसे बदमाशी करते हो तो like we have the cases ready. It is by due procedure, ठीक है, and we have the cases ready for any of the places. So it is not like.
So you're saying you have the cases ready, and the moment you find them indulging in these antisocial acts, then you go ahead and demolish these areas.
See, that's what I'm saying. We do it every month also because एक ही दिन में सब चीज तो नहीं कर पाते हैं. You have to understand, okay? In one day you cannot become Superman, ठीक है? We generally चिन्हित करते हैं, then हम हर महीने हटाते भी हैं, ठीक है? And जैसे ऐसे इंसिडेंट होती है, so then we have to prove a point आपने क्या कर रहे हो यार? Like it is your own city and you think that you can just burn the city. It is not acceptable, right?
So she's essentially saying that look, the administration hasn't gone for individuals, but for the areas where rioting took place, which if you look carefully implies a form of collective punishment that is obviously linked to the violence and is not driven only by the fact that the structures targeted were illegal to begin with. To examine the validity of her claims and if they stand the legal ground, I spoke with Shadan Farasat, an advocate at the Supreme Court of India. He examined each and every word of my interview with Khargone District Magistrate and had this to say.
To justify it ex post facto, because they know that they can't say we are targeting in law, they have to come up with excuses of the kind they are coming up with. But I have seen, I have examined what she has said to you, and she's just completely tying herself in knots. So either it's a process under the Municipal Act for demolition, or it is a punitive measure for rioting. She does not commit to either of those. She says it's a mix of both. It is this also, that also, this also. She herself doesn't know, and she doesn't know the answer. So therefore, and this is just typical, I'm not personally blaming her. This is typical of the kind of administrative action that has been taken in this case, because there is no basis in law. So therefore, when posed with direct legal questions, they come up with these confusing answers. In one of your questions, she says that we have actually not targeted any specific individuals. We have targeted areas where rioting has happened. Correct. Now, I am assuming the administrator was trying to get out of an allegation of specifically targeting individual homes. But what she has in the process said is far worse. So instead of your question was that how can you drop a missile without the authority of law? And she says that actually I have not dropped a missile. I have done carpet bombing. It's still without authority of law, right? So the point is her answer is far worse than what she was trying to evade. So therefore, really speaking, I think what has happened is clearly without authority of law. If challenged in court and the court were to examine the terms of what they are saying, I don't think it's going to at all pass the muster. And it is clearly not, although they're trying to now put on it the clothes of some kind of regular encroachment demolition. That's the clothing they're trying to put on this entire exercise. I think that is not at all what was done. And once the record is examined, it will become evident that what was done was a targeted demolition for sending out a political message without any authority of law.
So the legal opinion, they're clearly saying that the district magistrate's explanation to the wires checks and balance is far worse than what she was trying to evade, and that she has just got herself in knots. Also saying that this defense will not stand judicial scrutiny if it reaches to court. So the next logical question is, what does the Indian Penal Code say? Can anyone be prosecuted for another alleged crime under encroachment laws? In other words, even if one buys the explanation coming in from the administration that these structures were illegal, can the administration defend demolishing them in the court? The fact that they demolish these illegal structures ahead of other illegal structures in the whole of Khargone district, just because these illegal structures happen to be in areas where rioting took place. I put that question to Supreme Court advocate Shadan Farasat as well. Here's his legal opinion. Listen to this carefully.
Yeah, so let us assume at the highest that each of these structures was an encroachment, correct? Each of the structures which were demolished was an encroachment. That is the highest that can be the case which can be put by the administration, right? But even then, you have selectively, for no other reason apart from being it being punitive for your action of alleged rioting or alleged stone throwing, you have targeted only them. Now, if this is not a violation of Article 14, then what is? It's completely arbitrary. There is no punishment in law for of demolition or bulldozing a person's house or shop or whatever hotel in law. But you have taking that as an excuse, demolished only selectively those encroachers who were involved in something else. Why not others? Now, if there is a bunch of encroachment list, where is the continuous de-encroachment drive which is being carried out? Why only these houses have been picked out at that time? So it's obvious what the real purpose is. We come back to the same thing. They're trying to clothe it into something else because they know what they've done is illegal, but those clothes don't fit.
It's clear. It's clear that the administration is batting on a weak legal wicket. And that's not all. Khargone's district magistrate Anugraha also claimed in that interview to me that the administration had sent notices in advance. She also sent me copies of some of these notices and orders running on your screens. But ground reports by some media outlets are painting a different picture. Versions by those whose structures were demolished are contradicting the district magistrate's claim. For instance, look at this report by The Print, which has a testimony of a person named Kashish, whose father's restaurant was demolished. She says that they had received a notice 5 to 6 years ago. The notice had said that if in the future the road is widened, then parts of our hotel will be broken. That's what she told The Print. That's 5 to 6 years ago. I asked Shadan that in light of these reports, can the administration still defend its move in the court if the matters move there? Listen in.
How do you how do you send a notice 1 year back and carry out a demolition 1 year later? If you can't do it too quickly, surely enough, you also can't do it too belatedly. And if these are the kind of documents they will produce in court, and the court were to examine it, I don't think it's going to withstand the scrutiny, because obviously no court is going to say that, okay, you sent a notice 5 years back and now you are demolishing without any further notice. A, it's obviously not something which is valid, and B, it proves the point that your demolition is for some other purpose, some extraneous purpose, and your stated aim before the court, their stated aim before the court will be, we were trying to de-encroach. It was a part of an encroachment drive. Now, that stated aim will not match with their action and their notices. So there will be a complete dichotomy between that. And I don't see, a judicially trained mind accepting that kind of logic.
So we have got you a detailed explanation by the Khargone district administration, and also how even that fares poorly on judicial grounds. With that, we have come to the end of episode number 8 of Checks and Balance. As I always say, that we will be back very soon to put checks and balance on another topic, as the river of propaganda, as the river of fake news, as the river of disinformation continues to flow in India. Please help us by sharing this report on your WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups, on your Facebook, on your Twitter handle, essentially everywhere where you can, and help us contain the massive disinformation campaign. We'll be back very soon. This is Saahil Murali Menghani signing off. Thank you so much for watching.
To receive instant updates on all videos from The Wire, click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Pay to support independent journalism. Click the link in the description and choose the amount you want to pay.